Hello and welcome back. And today I'm going to focus on talking about control. And if you've been feeling fatigued or exhausted and there are subtle elements of control happening in the background, maybe it's wanting to control an outcome of something, a situation, whatever it is, the subtle sort of energy of control, even strong energy of control, controlling your environment, controlling your day, controlling how things, where things are stored in your house, all of those things, but you're now finding it exhausting. This is why. So I want to focus on just talking about this today. And I'd love to hear your comments if you are somebody who has found themselves in this energy of gripping a bit tighter, because it's something I've really been noticing lately, both in myself and in a few clients that I work with. And it can be really subtle, but it's an addiction to control in some ways. We have been taught and conditioned and programmed to believe that if we can just think harder, if we can plan better, if we can have all of our ducks in a row, and if we can fully figure it out, and if we can get that job, that person, that place, that thing, we can finally feel safe and that we'll finally feel free. So there is a belief that control in any way creates safety and freedom. But the control itself, the energy of that, if we feel into the energy of to control something, it doesn't have a very open and expansive energy. It has quite a restrictive and tight and gripping energy. So the energy of control itself does not come from freedom. The control that we try to exert on things comes from the mind, and the mind can only operate from things that have already been experienced. So it's there to keep us safe. So it operates from fear of something going wrong. But it's there that's, it's constantly trying to predict and to secure specific outcomes, because it believes that if I can just get this to happen or stop that from happening, then I'll be okay. And a person that's coming to mind that I'm thinking of while I'm recording this right now is somebody who suffered a loss. So they lost a loved one, and it was probably, quite a while ago now, but what's happened with them is they have filled their life with really just doing and controlling every kind of area of life, because it just fills up all of the time. So there is no space to surrender and trust and to be. So the more we try to control, the more that contracting, tight, resisting energy we feel in our system, and that's what creates the exhaustion. We become so disconnected from ourselves, and we just become so tired of really trying to organise everything in our external reality to create that sense of safety and freedom, which doesn't come from there. We've just been taught that it does. And the freedom that we're actually seeking is not found at all through control. It is found through letting go. And it's something that we're having to remember, to relearn that this is actually the case. And I know that it can feel uncomfortable, because as we're moving through this awakening process, we are shifting from being mind-led into being heart-led. We're becoming heart-based beings, which is what we always were, but we just pendulum swung too far into the mind, into the masculine energy of doing, and we have kind of got a less strong muscle, if you like, in terms of being heart-led. But the heart doesn't operate in the same way as the mind. The mind needs and wants certainty, but the heart doesn't. The heart just moves through trust. The mind wants guarantees that things will work out, things will be okay, everything will be fine if I can just put that in place, but the heart just responds to gentle guidance. And it just feels really relevant right now as we move into this being more heart-based and more heart-led, and more people are getting on board with this. It is part of the natural awakening process, and it's just something that you might be noticing right now with that kind of tightening of control in certain areas as we are being guided more and more to drop into the heart space. So the energy right now is really asking us to loosen our grip, and it can be in big and in very subtle ways, if I've noticed within myself. So maybe you've noticed it in your life. Maybe you've noticed that there is something where you're trying to control an outcome. You're waiting on something. It might be a job, a relationship, some sort of decision. That feeling to check things over, to go over it again, to think about it more, to plan more, to go over and over and over it, that real mental looping energy that's quite subtle. Just notice it where that is happening in your life right now. And when you notice it and you can catch it, and then you can just pause and give yourself that permission to let go, you will notice a very visceral wave of relief as you do that. So the body is showing you the truth, because when you're attached to outcomes, when we need something to be a certain way and a certain outcome to happen, we're actually overriding the deeper intelligence that is within us, and we're operating fully from the ego. And I've talked in the last couple of videos about now the soul is now beginning to take control of the vehicle, which is, we can call it a car, but it's the body, and the ego mind personality construct is now sitting in the passenger seat. And there's a kind of crossover as this happens, because that part of you, your higher self, your soul or source, is always and has always been guiding you, but the ego has been the one that's running the show, and the ego steps in and tries to control the path, and by doing that it creates resistance. And if we can start to really notice that, where we start to contract and feel resistance, or where we feel that urgency to make something more controlled, or control it better than it was, or to really check things, or to go over things, or whatever it is, but you'll notice the energy of it. That's really your invitation to soften. It's the invitation to drop into the body. And the more that we allow instead of force, the more that life just begins to flow. And not only that, but the things that we actually truly desire, that are actually what we kind of planned for ourselves when we had this opportunity to incarnate into this body, those things just come in more easily, because we're in the energy of allowing rather than the energy of restricting, contracting and controlling. And we no longer block them through efforting and through fear of what might be if we do that thing that we'd love to do. So just for a moment now, I just want to invite you to check in with yourself right now. Maybe you can close your eyes, take a deep breath, breathe out slowly, and just ask yourself in your mind, what are you being? Not what are you thinking, but what are you being energetically? So to notice this, you might notice if there's any subtle tension anywhere in the shoulders or the jaw or the abdominals or the chest. Notice if there's any irritation, restlessness, low-level anxiety. Notice if there's even a sense of boredom or a sense of something's not quite right and a need to do something. I want you to just notice it. not with judgment. Just notice it and just allow it to be there. And instead of trying to fix it or move away from it, just gently soften and open into it. Consciously soften the part of the body that feels tight and constricted. Consciously allow your shoulders to drop and your breath to deepen. And just allow whatever is there to fully be there. Now I want you to imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a river, and the river water is flowing steadily, just effortlessly moving exactly where it needs to go. And imagine in your hands you're holding a rope, and this rope represents the thing that you've been trying so hard to control, the outcome or the situation, the how or the when or the why. You're holding onto it tightly. Just notice how tightly you've been holding onto it. And just become aware of what that feels like in your body. The tension, the effort, the focus in that direction. So just allow whatever thing it is that's relevant to you right now to come to mind. Holding tightly, feeling that tension, that tightness. And then when you're ready, you've really seen it, that thing, that whatever it is, just gently imagine opening your hands and just let that rope fall into the river. You don't need to throw it or force it, just let it go. And just watch the river take it without effort or control, just flow. And as you watch that rope just be washed away by the river, just feel what happens in your body. Just feel that spaciousness, that gentle and subtle softening, and the energy of release. So just like the river doesn't control, we also are now being moved into a space where we can operate without the energy of control. You are exactly like the river, and when you stop gripping, you just naturally begin to move with life instead of against it. So if you take anything from this video today, and just let it be this: the freedom that you're seeking is not on the other side of getting everything right, getting all your ducks in a row, getting that job, that relationship, that place, that thing, whatever it is. It is absolutely on the other side of letting go. It's on the other side of release. It's on the other side of trusting that there's always something greater at play and that you are always guided. And in order to be guided and to listen to that guidance, it just takes stillness. It takes dropping into the heart space, into that infinite intelligence that is always there within you. And just allowing that to guide you into the next step. It allows you to soften, and then the next step unfolds, and then the next step unfolds, but from a place of complete flow rather than any type of control. So if this resonated with you today, I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to know where in your life you're being invited right now to let go of control. I know a couple of people commented on and moving house. That's definitely a thing where we try to control it, but we just really need to let go and trust the process. Also in terms of wanting a specific job, Because often when we really do want that thing and we really do everything we can to get that thing, if that doesn't happen, there is always something better for us, more aligned for us, that is on the other side of that. But it just makes the process easier if we can just relinquish control whilst going through that process. So I will probably tomorrow record a declaration around releasing control that you might find useful. And but for today, I'd just like you to comment, tell me where you're from, let me know what you're going through, and yeah, I'd just love to hear from you. So I will see you in the next one. Thank you for listening.